Herman. You're a silly boy. Hello, how you guys doing? Welcome back, everyone. I'm gonna pull up chat again so it doesn't have all those messages from before. I've got a cat in my lap, and he is rolling around because he's a tiny little baby man. A little patch of hair that went away because of the allergies. It's still sort of there, but it's not bugging him any. So, oh, okay, we're done now. Cool. Gotta make sure I really quickly slap my hand on the camera, else it looks like I'm just streaming my crotch, and that's not great. I don't know what I'm streaming right now, y'all. Oh, I didn't actually switch the camera region over, so you didn't even see that. Cool. Anyway, we should stream something, yeah? Like, that's what I do here? We got options. I've been working on, video game stuff. Games that I'm working on, off stream. I talked to Mike. I forget what the deal is with the thing that he wants me to do. I was confusing two different projects that he wanted to do and combining them into like one concept, and that was like, I would have had to say no with what I understood the thing to be. I'm really sick. Oof, dude, that's no good. Long Let's Play series, man. That's what it is. You gotta go find some long Let's Plays or like streams and stuff. Yeah, the thing that that Mike was saying, like, I thought that it was like a different thing, because he mentioned like two different ideas, and then he's like, I want to do this thing in the next couple of days, and I'm like, I'm not ready for that shit, man. I can't handle that. So like, anyway, welcome back. We got Cobalt Core. We got, I've been doing a lot of work on, the Communist Manifesto, like redoing the art, making sure that that shit's all good. Because, the art that was there was not good. I need to work on No Fish. And then we have a whole bunch of videos that you guys sent me yesterday that we didn't get to. So, what do you guys think? Maybe we start with the videos and we go from there? My family is all sick. Oof. Oh yeah, kids are gross, man. They just like get sick and like throw that everywhere. Mayhap? Alright, let's check and see what's in the new stuff. Let's see. Conlang Critic was wild, man. That was just like, what is this? Let's see, where's the last one we looked at? We looked at the bodega. I think it was this was the last one that we didn't watch. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch the screen region over. Yeah, half a second to go ahead and pull that up. And then we're doing cooking with Vibri, which is the guy from that one PS1 Dreamcast? I don't remember what console this was on. But this guy, you know this guy? Yeah. Microwave. Okay. Sure. Real estate expert answers your housing crisis questions.
I'm Kate Nellisher. I'm a professor of urban planning. Let's answer some questions from the internet. This is housing support.
You have 10
At
seconds.
Ethan to go says, why does rent have to go up every year, but my salary doesn't? Sad face. That's really disappointing. So if we look back to 1995 to now, the percentage increase is almost 100%.
Yeah, actually, this is gonna make me sad. How do you become a millionaire? Dude, if a financial advisor knew that, they'd be a fucking millionaire first. That's the thing about all these. I mean, like, a financial advisor is fine, but there's so many people who are like, I'm a business guru. Fuck you. Look at this fellow. It's a Beppo. A Beppy? A Beppo? That's a little fella. Crank that volume. I've cranked it up. There's no sound for this yet. Very excited about having some pineapple. Doesn't know what to do with it. Just kind of shaking there, holding it. Might run around with it. Good. Good. I love mice and rats. I wouldn't be able to take care of one right. Build an awesome rundown hotel that's 6 feet wide. Oh, yeah. This thing. Oh, it's another mod. You guys are just like, we got him. We figured out what he likes. He likes watching model videos. Listen to model videos.
Hey all, and welcome back to another long-awaited tutorial. Today I'll be taking you through the process of building this awesome looking street scene using a model building kit that is cast in plaster. Plaster kits have their challenges when compared to the more common plastic variety, but they are heaps of fun to build. So let's not waste any more time and get started building.
So this is a real building that exists somewhere?
The kit for this diorama is the worst block in town from Downtown Deco. It's pretty much a diorama in itself.
Wait, what was that about Waldo?
Only a few
Try to
parts,
spot
it still
all
makes
Waldos?
a diorama is the worst block
Wally all 5 times. All
in
right,
town
cool.
from Downtown Deco.
Got it.
It's pretty much a diorama in itself, and while there are only a few parts, it still makes a very interesting scene. Plaster kits, just like plastic kits, need some preparation before assembly, like removing the flashing from some of the edges.
Yeah.
Plaster is quite soft, so using something like a seam scraper will easily clean up any leftover flashing. A small nail file is perfect for smoothing edges. The recesses for the door was a bit too shallow, so some extra material was needed to be removed in order to get it to fit a bit better. You could even cut right through the wall to allow the door to be modelled in the open position.
That's true. Although it has a door
There's
frame.
a lot of flat edges, so to make sanding easier and more accurate, I fashioned up a sanding plate with some thick polycarbonate panel. Anything could work as long as it's flat. Some sandpaper is glued to the surface, and now I have a perfectly flat surface to sand on. Some of the walls are very slightly warped. The sanding plate is perfect for getting them flat again.
I see, okay.
Just
You
make
just
sure
want
you
it to
don't
be
sand
like a
away
heavy
any of
plate
the
that's not
edges
gonna
that
go
have
anywhere.
detail molded
Got it.
into them. This works great for the back of the walls and edges that butt together. If you do remove some of the detail, you can always go back and carve detail back into the plaster. Now they are ready for assembly. Having tools like machinist blocks and squares will make lining up parts much easier. I always dry fit each piece before gluing, just to make sure it's a
dry fit where you don't glue.
Perfect fit. I start by using 1 minute epoxy. While it worked okay, I don't recommend it. It cures quite fast and doesn't give you much time to position the parts. After using it for the first 2 walls, I ended up reverting to the 5-minute epoxy for the final wall. While the epoxy is still soft, is a good time to remove any excess epoxy.
Okay.
Because
Forgot to
plaster
tweet
is
out,
rigid,
so I just did.
you can't bend it to fit and hide gaps, so you might be left with a gap
It's plaster,
or 2.
there's lots of
They
imperfections.
can be filled in with plaster filler,
Yeah, I was gonna
but
say,
sometimes it comes at a cost, as it may fill in the detail as well.
Yeah, you just
Before
gotta,
applying
like,
the filler, the plaster will need to be dampened so the filler will stick.
you'll want to go with like a very small tool. I think that
The filler
tool
is applied as accurately as
there
you
you
can
go.
to prevent accidentally covering up the brick detail.
Yeah, and you're gonna
Before
have
the
to
filler is dry, a wet brush is used to
redo
wash
it.
away any excess filler and help blend the filler in with the rest of the wall.
Ah, yeah.
Once the filler is set, detail can be scribed back into the wall, giving a seamless connection between the two pieces. Once the parts have been dusted to remove any plaster dust,
I see the
they
line.
are ready for priming. To me, a surface primer works well for this. Once primed, it's ready for a coat of paint.
He's also spraying while
The
it's
main brick
pointed
color
at it,
is
which
done
was
with
weird.
oxide red from Scale Modeler's supply. It's a great brick color, and once weathered, it looks very convincing. You'll probably need
Airbrushes
2
are
or
like
3
a
coats to
cheat
get a
code.
good even coverage. An oil wash is made with some enamel thinners and light mud oil paint. The wash is liberally applied across the surface of the wall. You can see how well the oil wash works at filling in the gaps between the bricks.
Oh, that's I
Heat
just
can be
watch
used to
that bit
speed
of
up
the
the
video on
drying of the
repeat.
thinners. However, it will take a few days for the oil paint to cure. Which is good because next I'll be gently dragging a paper towel over the surface
Right,
to
and then it
remove
only gets-
excess oil from the top of the bricks.
When you have something that flat, you can do that.
This process is repeated for each of the walls.
He does okay. I will be honest with you. This guy's
molded
not as good
indeed-
as the guy that we were watching previously. He's not Bobby Fingers good, and he's not that tank guy good. But he's good, you know.
Towels are painted using a variety of
He
Vallejo
also loves
paints.
doing little flips
I'm
with his
also
shit.
adding a
Night
drop
Shift,
of Vallejo flow improver
Night Shift
so the
and
paint doesn't dry too fast when
Bobby
applying it to
Fingers
the
are
model.
probably some of the
I'm
best.
doing my best
Pete
to
the
be
War
steady
Gamer's another
and
good
avoid
one.
getting the paint onto the bricks. The rock foundation is painted a warm grey, and some individual stones are painted with a darker grey-brown colour.
Right. I actually have
This
not
time
been
a
looking
wash
for
using
Wally, by
Starship
the way.
Filth oil paint is used to weather and fill in the gaps between the stones. Again, doing my best
Good.
to avoid having it bleed up into the brick section above. I also use the Starship Filth on the cement edges of the
Starship
building.
Filth.
Using this sponge helps add subtle streaks down the cement, while at the same time blending in any brush strokes that may have been visible. The vacant
I
block
haven't
areas are
done any
painted a
work on
concrete
scenery
colour using
stuff.
woodland scenic
It
cement.
just does not matter
This
to
bottle
me
is
at
getting
all.
quite old and gunky, so to thin it and remove any of the dried flakes so that it can pass through the airbrush, I first dilute it with Vallejo thinners at roughly a 1:1 ratio.
I love that he has like
The paint is quite thick.
beakers.
Once thoroughly mixed, I pass the paint through a stocking. This will remove any flakes. Now it's ready to be bottled and used in the airbrush.
Like,
It's quite a thin mixture, but is great for the
yeah,
airbrush.
that would be the correct
You'll probably
thing.
need at least 2 coats to get a nice even coat. The cement effect is made using some darker Vallejo paints. I use mostly grey RLM02 for the speckled layer of paint. By turning the airflow right down on the airbrush, you'll get a speckled effect. Once
What do
the
you want
droplet
that
size
for?
is to your liking, it is sprayed over the surface of the model. I keep going until there's a moderate coverage.
Okay, so you're just kind of getting like a stippled gray.
Next, I lightly mist
guess
over
that
the original
kinda
woodland
looks
scenic
like
cement color
concrete.
to blend it all together
When you,
and lighten
yeah,
the
that,
color
that's
of the
going to be the
cement.
trick there.
It's only a thin layer, as we want the speckled appearance to show through. Again, the Starship Filth oil paint is thinned down into a wash with thinners and can be liberally applied over the surface of the cement, getting a good even coverage. To give it that final mottled look, I dab it with a paper towel.
That way it pulls
The oil wash can be reapplied if you want
wash.
a darker final result, but just one application
Yeah, I mean
seemed to work
that's a
for
good
me.
concrete effect. I like it. Again, I haven't done I've done literally no.
Just like the main building, the stone detail is painted and a wash applied.
Where the fuck are you, Wally?
Just being careful not to allow the wash to bleed up over the edge onto the cement area. The kit comes
Probably
with
should
some
have done the
styrene
wash
for the
first
roof.
before you did the.
I changed mine a little bit
whatever.
and added some edge trim to the roof styrene. This just gives it a bit of extra detail and interest, and also acts as a lid for the building. I designed it to be removable because in a future project I'm planning to add lighting to the inside of the building.
Oh.
Painting is pretty straightforward. A dark grey for the base colour looks good. Some black is used to simulate the tar paper joins and repairs.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And
look
more
at that.
Starship Filth was used
They
for
did
a bit of a
shit
weathered
job
look.
tarring this roof. That's great. Like, they did a really sloppy job on the roof.
All the small details are painted as well.
It's cool.
Once they had an undercoat, I painted them a dark green to match the theme of the building.
Yeah, there's no
To give them a
hood
bit
or
of
anything.
age,
Yeah,
they
there's
get
a
a dry
lot.
brush
Okay,
with
so
some
like when you're airbrushing, you should probably have a hood. Like there's like a thing that you, but you know, breathing in a little bit of, I mean, like what's a little heavy metal in your system ever do?
White.
It's meant to be a shit building, exactly.
A very thin piece of acetate is cut to size for the
Yeah,
window
get well
pane.
soon.
I also have some blinds and
cannoli.
curtains printed that will attach to the windows as well. I've recently discovered liquid PSA from Micromark. This stuff works wonders for windows. Just add some to the back of each window, wait 5 minutes for it to turn clear, and then press the clear acetate in place. There's no
probably
glue
fine with
oozing out or
acrylics.
smears across the window this way.
Oh, and then you
Some
don't get
windows
finger
are
marks
separate.
on it
It can be
either.
extra work to add individual pieces of acetate. However, it means some windows can be modelled in the open position, making it look more dynamic and realistic.
And it'll just, yeah, it's worth, man. It's a little extra work.
Next up are the wall decals. Once they are cut out, they get soaked in some water. Some of the decals are quite large, so you'll need a large bowl or a plate of water to
I
soak them
actually have
in.
not used decals either.
After roughly 5 minutes,
I
they
would
should
rather
be free
just
from the backing
freehand
paper.
a design. Like trying
The
to
wall is
manually
prepped by-
paint like these on here, like that's legitimately harder for me than just like I'm trying to look for the part that I ripped off one of these tanks that yeah, I don't know where that one is. But I like, you know, I painted a little symbol on the side of my tank. Stuff like that. Like that's yeah, I don't really have anything that's like small enough that really shows that off, but you know, I wish it were easier to make custom decals. You can make them. There's like paper you can buy that you print and then like it's just like printer paper kind of stuff. I haven't used it before, but it's interesting
Brushing
that it
over
exists.
a layer of Humbrol decal fix. Next, the decal is gently slid free from the backing paper into position on the wall. Once in place, excess water is soaked up with a sponge. Pressing the
Decal?
sponge down also helps seat the decal into the brick detail. With the decals in place, I finally brush over another layer of Humbrol decal fix. This will soften the decal so as it begins to dry, the decal will get sucked down onto the wall and into the brick recesses on the wall.
Now let's look at how like Night Shift did
The
this
decals
versus
have
how
a
he
slight
did
shine
it.
to them, so to remove any reflectivity, I mist all the decal areas with Tamiya flat spray.
Like, I
Now we
don't
can
really
start
feel
adding
like it's
those
really
details
blending
like
into the
windows and
brickwork
doors.
as much as.
Another cool detail that comes with the kit are window awnings.
Oh, nice.
These are very simple to build. By applying the plastic cement to the bending groove first, it will soften the plastic, making it much easier to bend without splitting the styrene.
Also, like, I don't want to have my dudes.
One of the awnings needed
like
some
the
grooves cut
decal
out.
transfers for Warhammer shit is like. It's usually like chapter symbols. So it's like if you're from the Ultramarines, you've got the little like. There's a symbol for that. And if you're a Salamanders player, there's a little dragon head for that. And your word bearers, which is what I do, I've got like a, you know, little, it's like a demon head in front of a flaming book. So there's like transfers for that. But like, do they make you deal with water slide decals and where I don't know what that is. I haven't used them because like I don't want my dudes specifically to be from like necessarily word bearers. Like they are word bearers, but like I don't like the chapter livery. Like I think it looks weird. Yeah, the decals we're talking about here would be water slide. Okay, then yes. Because, like, I think it's just easier to just manually paint shit. Like a little decal or a little design. I know I've got a tank that I've done like a little design for. Hold on. There we go. Okay, cool. I found it. I found the piece that I was thinking of that I like. So like my orcs, they're the loot biker pirates, right? So that's like their thing is that they're deaf skulls in that they like looting stuff, but they're willing to like work with humans and other races because they figured out that if they just like, you know, they'll tell them where the fights are and then you go kick their ass afterwards. So it kind of like is even better. So anyway, I needed like a symbol for my clan, and these are like kind of weird freaks. So it needed to be like a battle wagon, which is a type of orc vehicle. It's like a semi truck. And I was thinking of a Ratfink Bastard when I was making it. So I was like, let's go with that aesthetic. So that's what I made. So I made a little, let me see if I can get the camera to work. Whoop. There's a little hand painted thing on the side of this tank. For size comparison, I don't know, fucking SD card. This is a little SD card just for a size comparison. And like I can do stuff like that. So like I don't use the transfer decals. SD card for size. So, I always find that they like don't go on straight, or that can be an issue because of water slide. And,
so that it would fit better against the window.
I just don't like the look.
They get painted much like other details on the kit with a primer, followed by a main color, some weathering using the oil wash, and lastly some weathering powder to add streaks. Once that's done, a misting of Tamiya flat spray is applied to lock down the weathering effects so they won't rub off. A little bit of Helmar Super Tack adhesive will hold them in place on the building. Now for the diorama base and the rest of the scenery. I had a plan to display this behind my workbench, so I measure up an area that will fit and start drawing out the design. Once happy, I assemble the base using some pieces of pine.
Okay, this is where it's going to start popping off, because this is like a separate step that I don't see.
The openings are filled with some rigid insulation foam. This gives a nice base to work on, making it easier to create holes for trees and other details, while at the same time ensuring the diorama base isn't too heavy. Polyurethane glue is probably the best glue for this material. It will grab both the foam and the wood very well. The foam won't be going anywhere once this glue is cured. The glue itself acts a bit like foam once cured, and any excess glue is easily cut away and sanded, leaving a nice smooth surface.
Airplane glue.
You may also notice I've added wood filler to the edges of the diorama frame to help hide the joins and the nail holes. With the base complete, the layout is traced onto the foam. The road is created using polycarbonate sheet and is 0.8mm thick. The road is traced onto the sheet and then cut out and test fitted.
Imagine having all the money to be able to buy and support your hobby. I mean, that's cool.
For the footpath and building foundations, I'm using PVC foam board. In much the same way the layout design is traced onto the foam board. It's much easier to cut compared to the polycarbonate. All the features are drawn onto the board, including the footpath as well as the outlines of the buildings. Using a fine liner like this is better than using a texture or large marker. That concrete texture came out really good. Because there's a chance you'll leave a black line along the base of your building.
I was kind of like poo-pooing it when he started, but...
Now a sharp hobby knife is used to cut around the lines, leaving us with a raised footpath and building foundations. I decided to add some 3D printed road detail as well. So to make space for the manhole covers, I cut out a hole that roughly looks about the right size for a manhole cover.
Dremel. He has all the tools.
Flat, shiny surfaces. So
I don't want to bash this dude, but I feel like this guy has like all the tools.
To make the
But,
road
like,
paintable,
not
I sanded
necessarily
both the
all
front
the
and the back of the
skills.
polycarbonate sheet using a fine sandpaper. Fine enough so obvious
Howl's
sanding
Moving
stretch
Castle made out
marks
of
can't
drunk.
be
Yeah,
seen.
that's made by the same guy who does
My
orc
tried
kit
and true
bashes.
method for
It's
roads
great.
involves an initial coat of Rust-Oleum flat grey primer. This is then followed up with a misting of satin heirloom white. It's a very fast sweep, so it leaves a speckled appearance.
Sure. Again,
Some of
for
the paint particles
concrete
will have
kind of
dried
vibe.
before sticking to the surface, so any leftover paint dust is wiped away once it's dry. A bit of road weathering is
Yeah,
done
but
with
normal
a
people aren't
black-brown
building
mixture
miniature
diluted with
rundown
water
hotels.
and made into a wash.
Yeah, I love this kind of stuff
I
too.
don't use oil wash because the
I
enamel
will be
thinners
honest
will
with you,
dissolve
like
the
the stuff y'all
Rust-Oleum
send
paint
me
and cause it to smudge.
is interesting as a streamer
The wash is
to
heavily
just go,
applied to the
oh,
road,
this is what you
and
guys
then a
like.
paper towel is used to dab away the excess, while also leaving an uneven mottled look.
This is concrete again? This is like sidewalk concrete?
I did this process twice to achieve a road colour that I was happy with.
Oh, this is road.
To further lock down all that paint, I give the road a coat of flat spray. This
I don't
helps
think
the
that's
paint
the right
resist
color for
scratches and
road,
peeling
but
off.
I mean, I guess if it's just like
Road
concrete
lines are
rather
added
than
by
asphalt.
masking them onto the surface.
Yeah, he loves doing his little
Most
flips.
masking tapes work well. However, the Tamiya tape seems to work really well and helps avoid paint bleeding underneath the tape.
Oh, I hate that.
It's a bit time consuming, but it looks great once finished. By spraying some flat
I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I hate doing the tape stuff, like doing the this right here, the stripes that he did. This would have sucked ass to do, to like get those cuts done. Can I show you guys something even more insane? Anyone who does this is a fucking lunatic. Look at these. These are beautifully done. Look at those hazard stripes. Yeah, there's an Abby crying downstairs. Abby! I'm upstairs! Hi! Hi! Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Those are some gorgeous Helldrakes. But yeah, so the wings are one piece each, like each wing. So like this, like the gold detail, like you gotta paint the stripes under, like next to the, like I mean, it sucks that this model is ass. Like, it's so bad. Like competitively, and it's $84. Like, you're insane, GW. You're absolutely insane. Like, this model is functionally useless. This is what I'm trying to say about the wings, right? You see how like the raised portions are just like part of the same thing? So in order to get this paint job done right, this person probably did the tape thing like he was saying there. Or based on this line right here, maybe he just freeballed it. I mean, I've done that myself. With orcs, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be a little rough. But, you know, meticulous taping is annoying as shit. Gunpla Customs. Oh my god. So yeah, let's see what this
sprays
is.
first, it will help block any small gaps under the masking tape. So when we apply the
That's
white,
the other
it won't
thing
have
is,
a chance
yeah.
to bleed under the tape.
It loves to
The
do
white
that.
lines are simply done with white primer.
Yeah, as you would. And then you remove all the tape.
I try to be a little careful when removing the masking tape. I want to avoid accidentally peeling any of the road paint by lifting the tape too fast.
Okay, I will say paint peel videos are like, if you're not aware of them, like, hold on, half a second, because he kind of skipped over the coolest part of that. Warhammer, tape peel. Let's see if that'll pop. Oh. Oh, god damn it. Don't use copyrighted music, you son of a bitch. Alright, check this out. Like the tape getting pulled. Like, this is like so fucking fun right here. Like, I would love to do this, but I would hate to do this. But look at that. Look at these nice little crisp lines that he's gonna have. And because he did it just right, he doesn't have much fill under the tape. There's a little bit. He'll have to clean it up, actually. He kind of fucked it up. He fucked up everything, actually. Oh, there we go. We got some Gunpla tape removal. Like, it's so satisfying when it's done well. Masking tape is for losers? Oh. Yeah, you probably should have used that. Anyway.
As for the footpath and foundations, make sure to remove the protective plastic before painting. The gutter edge is sanded so that it's slightly rounded. The foam is very easy to sand, so be careful that you don't accidentally sand away too much material.
We'll do some other stuff in a minute.
Lines for the footpath are marked with a fine line first to ensure they look reasonable. Once all marked out, they are scribed with a hobby knife. These will really pop once the oil wash gets applied.
Yeah, he is a sucker for an oil wash, and bitch, me too.
Once done, make sure to wipe away the fine liner because it will bleed through the paint. And just like the road, it gets a light sanding before painting.
Type of guy who uses treatment who goes using references is cheating.
The only difference is that after the speckled effect is applied, I lightly mist over some Vallejo cement acrylic paint. It's just a thin layer to give the footpath a very subtle difference over the building slabs we painted earlier. Then it got the same top coat over everything using the Woodland Scenic cement colour and the oil wash to give the mottled weathered look. Before it's all glued down, the holes are cut out for the manhole and the drain. I'm cutting right the way through because I might want to model an open manhole at some point in the future. The diorama edges
the guy who said masking tape is for losers?
And
yeah,
a light
no.
sanding in preparation for painting.
And his paint job was not good from
what
I could see.
The manhole openings are painted black, as well as the join line between the footpath and the road. Just in case there are any gaps, at least they won't be light green. The rest of the base is painted brown so that if any spots get missed later when applying the scenery, they won't be so obvious.
Sure.
Polyurethane glue works really well.
References every fucking painting I do.
Once the bottom surface is coated and the road is positioned onto the base, it will need to be weighed down. The polyurethane glue expands as it cures, and if not weighed down, the road surface will shift. The footpath needs to fit flush against the road, so any excess glue preventing that will need to be removed. The footpath is glued the same way, however I roughen the bottom of the footpath with a knife first, so the glue gets a good hold.
Right, yeah. That's
the polyurethane glue takes about 3
hours
hours to reach a point so that we can continue. After about 48 hours, it should be fully set.
Lots of machine blocks that he's got for
behind the building will be an
this.
Old railway track. It's not a functioning piece of track, so I'm not too worried about fixing it down. A simple bead of wood glue that is spread out is more than enough to hold it down. It's just placed in a position and left as the glue sets.
Isn't the wood glue gonna leave a mark?
Now for the grass. I'm creating my own custom grass mats for this project. I like this method for areas around buildings like this because it gives you much more control over how the area needs to look. It's especially useful if you're adding grass in areas where the buildings are already mounted to the base. It can be very hard to get a static grass applicator right up against a building. I'm experimenting by adding some dirt first. I want the area to be sparsely grassed with patches of dirt.
What is this thing?
Now the grass is applied. The grounding clip is attached to the tray, and then the grass is applied to the wet glue. holding the applicator about 3 to 4 centimeters above the surface.
What the fuck is this tool?
Excess is removed by flipping the tray upside down
Static
and
grass
gently tapping on the
applicator?
bottom.
It's basically why did it need to be grounded?
More dirt is added right over
That seems
the
like
top,
just a
creating
salt
those
shaker.
patches
Why
of
did that
dirt
need to be
I wanted.
electronic?
Once that's done, it's all permanently fixed in.
It
by
gives it a
mixing
little
over
static
some
charge to
isopropyl
stand up
alcohol,
straight so they
followed
go
up
through the
with some
holes.
scenic glue. After it's dry, the grass will peel away from the baking paper and it's ready to be used.
I see what you've done. Okay. Little, like, segments of grass.
To use the grass, simply cut it out to the desired shape and fit it in place. To
What
cut it to
a-
specific spots, a hobby knife can be used to cut along an edge while the grass is in place. That way you'll get a perfectly fit patch of grass without needing to sprinkle grass all over your model.
That's
if you do
a
it
great
right,
point.
you shouldn't be able to see any joins between the different sections of grass.
Uh-huh.
To glue it down, I'm using Mod Podge Matte. I apply the glue to both the surface of the diorama as well as the back of the grass mat.
Abby just wants
The
to say
glue will
words
also
sometimes.
help soften the grass mat, allowing it to mold to contoured areas as well.
I'm pretty sure you can eat
This
grass and it not
process is
kill you.
repeated
I wouldn't
across all
recommend
the
it.
areas where grass will be applied. Blending the edges of the grassed areas is easily done with some dirt texturing. Once happy with the coverage of dirt, it's fixed down with a misting of isopropyl alcohol,
It'll fuck up your
shortly
teeth.
followed up with some scenic glue.
Didn't we find out that there's some
The
weird
track
shit?
gets some ballast using Woodland Scenic's grey blend.
Oh, that's
It doesn't
a
need
good...
to be perfect as this will be a
Right.
background feature and is also a railway track that doesn't see a lot of traffic.
Right.
The same process of alcohol and scenic glue is applied to fix it down.
Nice. Okay, I was gonna
Now
say,
it's
like,
time
that's
for the
gonna leave a
buildings.
stain, but if you're just
The
gonna put
foam
that...
is roughened up and then
I
the
forgot about that gravel
polyurethane
they
is
put on
used to mount
stuff.
the buildings. With them down in place, they are weighed so they won't move as the glue expands and sets.
This building is so shit.
Most
I
of the
love it.
detail here is 3D printed on the Nova 3D Bene 4 Mono 3D printer. If you've seen
That's
my past
perfect for
videos,
that.
you'll know that I use this a lot for adding detail to model scenes and dioramas.
Yeah,
However,
that
you
would be
can also
perfect.
purchase 3D printed details like these from scientific models
Sure.
that you can get from Micromark. These are also 3D printed details, so if you don't have
You
access
can eat
to a 3D
anything
printer,
once.
you can still find all sorts of cool details online.
A 3D
Preparing and
printer
painting
seems like it
3D
would be
printed
fairly
details
essential
is
for
much
getting
the
to
same as
this
any
level.
other detail. Remove it from the sprue, sand away any imperfections, prime it with an undercoat, and then paint the detail as desired. After many, many hours of painting and weathering, you'll be left with a small collection of details to fill out your scene. I realised I had no space for the phone booth and mailbox. An added benefit of using grass mat is that it's easy to remove in small sections. So once a small area of a grass
This
was
shit
removed,
makes me want to buy
I
a
could
3D
place the
printer.
slab and have a
Yeah,
spot for
honestly.
the phone booth and mailbox.
I think it would be very cool to have a 3D printer for, like,
These power poles
making
are
games
from a previous video.
or whatever.
They make a huge difference to the scene, so if you want to make some, the video will be linked in the description. Getting them straight in is a challenge, so I used a guide to help ensure the drill was perfectly vertical.
Interesting.
Now
That's
it's
a fairly
time for
easy
all the little
technique.
details to be glued, like the drain on the side of the road.
Ah, yeah.
When it comes to adding details, I try to use
See
as
if your
little
local
glue as
library has a
possible,
3D printer.
and
Sometimes
I
they
try
do.
to use hobby tack adhesive where I can, so that the details can be pulled back
That's
up
true. I
without
forgot
damaging
about
the
that.
paint and moved around if needed. Hobby tack from Woodland Scenics is really good for this. As the details populate the scene, it starts to look much more realistic.
It still looks a bit like a toy to me, I will say. Like, I think we're going in the right direction, though.
To help out the workers, I made a small ramp so that they could drive the materials up onto the cement slab. It's these types of details that
Yeah.
make a scene look much more believable and give it some purpose.
Yeah, it gives it story, and story helps with basing and modeling.
At the moment, everything looks a bit clean. To dusty things up a bit, I'm using
Yeah.
some dark earth weathering powders,
Okay.
focusing on areas where you might get a build-up of dirt and grime. It also helps highlight the wheel tracks along the road and dull down the white road markings as well. A sponge is
The
sometimes
pavement looks a
useful
little
to remove the
plasticky,
powder
yeah,
if
like
too
the
much is
sidewalk.
applied, and to help
It
blend
looks a
areas
little too
together a little
okay.
bit
There's
better.
no like random
Road
weeds growing
signs are
through
a
the.
must. These two are from an older video that will be linked in the video description. Trees come next. This really adds a nice bit of colour to the scene and also helps mask the edges of the diorama, making the edge not look so obvious. Low-lying bushes and weeds are added using some Woodland Scenics coarse turf. Isopropyl alcohol
No
and
sun-baked
scenic glue are
chewing
used to
gum.
fix them in
Yeah.
position.
Like,
Using
that
an
honestly needs to
eyedropper
be a
or
thing.
syringe helps control where the glue is applied because we want to avoid getting it over any of the painted details and weathering.
Like, I want to show you guys. So there's Warhammer World, right? And the cool one is in Nottingham, but there is one in Grapevine, Texas as well. And one of the things they do, aside from having like giant versions of shit that you'd know if you play the game, you've got a, old school Rhino, and then you've got a old school Marine standing outside with the Imperial Aquila out front. Kind of looks like a car dealership to me. But anyway, inside they have a whole bunch of like dioramas that they did using the models with like thousands and thousands of fucking guys doing stuff. And like they change them out every now and then. They add little like secrets to them. Like here we got look at that. What is this even? This is like Night Haunt, which is like one of the races in it's like ghost people. Like that looks cool. Right, blah 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 Warhammer. This is cool. Like I love that. The smoke looks a little blah. But look at those like giant ass titans that have like this guy who's fallen through the building. That's so fucking cool. It still looks a little bit like toys, but they're getting there, on some of these. But like that, like look at that, man. Oh, this is like a COVID thing. They stopped doing it for a bit because of COVID, but then they brought it back. And you got your tables that you can play at and all that jazz, but also like you have the fucking massive, like this would cost so much fucking money to like do all that. You have no idea. Like each of these knights, these big things, these guys are like $1,000 a piece. This guy and that guy. And then there's just like fuck tons of guys in here. It's so hard to see them all, actually. Like, but there's fuck tons of guys just running around and they're running up the castles and so cool. I do want to go see them at some point because like these designs are just like wow. Sorry, I'm gonna nerd out for a second. You're gonna have to fucking deal with it. So much time. This one is in Nottingham. So not America, but there is one in Grapevine, Texas, and I think there's another couple. Like, look at that. What is this shit? Warhammer World photos. Yeah, you got the... Ooh. That's pretty neat. Those are the new rhinos. It's like some Horus Heresy shit. Oh, did it not update to be just chatting? Some dead scions and shit. Oh, and then everyone's like moving into... I mean, some of these are a little hokey because they didn't have like as good of, oh, okay, they're Tyranids. It's like a Tyranid swarm coming to like attack a Space Wolves base. That's cool. I don't live too far from Nottingham. Yeah, it's cool. I don't know if you have to pay or anything to get in, but they do a good job. Anyway.
And for our final detail, I'm adding power lines using black Easy Line. This is the best stuff for doing power lines because it sticks really fast to the super glue, and you can get a really nice drooping effect between the power poles. It's just really delicate and can take a bit of practice to get the lines to look just right.
Oh, that seems so finicky. I do not envy you.
Excess is trimmed away with some sharp scissors. And that completes the diorama. I just love how this scene turned out, and there's always so much more that could be added to make it pop even more.
Like, I feel like there's just some bits of this where it feels like a toy still. I think it's a lot of the 3D printed stuff. Like, this design is starting to actually, like, go into it. Like, that is actually working to some degree. But, yeah, I don't know. This one's not as good as the Mel Gibson Arrest diorama. Watch more shit from him. Doing bases and shit is just... I don't know. Let's see. Let me see what else we have on there, and also update the names. That way, it's not question marks anymore. It's watching stuff y'all sent me. Cool. I mean, yeah, I mean, that one looks pretty legit. Ooh, what is this thing?
My name is Eric, and these are some of my creations. These models are made from a wide variety of materials, but what ties them together is that they all take place on the planet Aegis. Today we're traveling from the rocky perils of the Hemok coast to...
Dude, you know what would be fucking cool? One of the problems with the 3D printing is almost nobody has the correct ventilation set up. Yeah, and you don't know that it's super dangerous to breathe those fumes in. Like, you can't see them. They're not one of those fumes that you can see or smell easily. You know, it would be really cool to do a game, but use models to make the stuff.
The arid dunes of Polsera. I'll take you along the process of building this model and share with you the story of this old man and his rickety mech. This is Gamey Builds, and welcome to Beyond the Blight.
Like, I love this idea. Like, have a little, like, storyline going for a little world that you're making stuff for.
I keep expecting this part to become easy. I keep thinking that eventually I'll develop some kind of system, something to streamline the process.
World building, like, manually.
But I suppose, as with all things, the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know. But then I had an idea. And it was literally this light bulb. For whatever reason, it sparked the idea for an ancient two-legged mech lumbering along a dusty path. So I went with it. Things got really interesting once the light bulb was sandwiched between two halves of a tank model,
I like it,
creating a lot of unique geometry. And at this point, that's really my main concern, creating unique shapes and giving the object a distinct eye-catching silhouette.
I mean,
With
it
the pencil
does.
sketch done, I decided to push the concept even further, taking my time and carefully delineating all of the parts in ink. This helped me to think about what materials I'd use as I drew inspiration for the design from the plastic shrapnel littered about my workbench.
This guy's
When it
fucking
comes to
good.
mechs, I've always felt that there must be a compelling reason to justify their existence. Practically speaking, wheels make a lot more sense.
Sure.
Having said that, I enjoyed this process of painting my concept art with watercolors while I considered what purpose a mech like this might serve and how that purpose would affect the design choices of its engineers. Thus was born the seed for this story.
All right. I'm a little worried about him using the light bulb here, I'm not gonna lie.
With the design and colors locked in, it was time to get building. Starting
Like, it
with
seems
this
very
plastic
fragile.
LED bulb and some Kinder eggs that were kindly donated to this channel. I've thought about registering a P.O. box to get more donations of this sort, but I kind of suspect that putting out an open invitation for people to mail me their garbage could backfire.
Yeah, that may not be the best idea.
And speaking of plans gone wrong, the idea here that I could evenly sand off the top of this plastic bulb to attach the faceplate was a mistake. This plastic is surprisingly hardy, and so I had to eventually saw at it with an X-Acto blade. Once I decided I wasn't going
it's
to
not
get
going to be
anywhere
one of those
closer
ones.
to a circle than
right.
this, I glued on the faceplate, which was Frankenstein from one of these Beyblade toys. To create a more
Beyblades would
gradual
probably be great for that
between these
shit,
two
man.
pieces, I used Milliput, which is a sculptable
Kinder Eggs
two-part
of a certain
pipe.
design. We have American Kinder Eggs. Regular Kinder Eggs, like, it's just one giant thing, right? But with the American ones, it's like there's one half that's like the toy, and then there's another half of the egg that's the chocolate and shit.
By the way, the links to just about all of these supplies can be
Milliput,
found in the description of my videos.
I used to have some Milliput, but
One
I think
feature
I
that
used
I
all.
wanted to lean pretty heavily into
probably
for
get
this
some more.
mech was these frames and cages, elements that would imply that this machine was built to bear a good battering. The first of these frames was a hexagonal one that took a not insignificant amount of work for my smooth brain to calculate the dimensions for and then build from Q-tips.
Q-tips, my dude.
For the mech's fuel tanks, I used the short end of the Kinder Eggs, tiny cardboard circles.
We have
inserted
sort of
into
Kinder
these
Eggs.
plastic
Yeah, I've
hemispheres
got some Kinder
gave
Egg
the
toys
hot
around
glue
here.
something to stick to, and then
They're
it was
very
all
like
glued to the bulb. By the way, to drill precise holes in the
coin
plastic,
machine kind of
I found
things.
the best way is to nick the surface first with an X-Acto
They all feel like
blade
25-cent
and then
machine
get a pilot
toys.
hole started. After some tank wheels were added for detail, more Milliput was put around the fuel tanks for yet more gradual transitions, and this is where I ran into my first major problem with this build.
Tilda loves Kinder Eggs.
My concept art had tons of details, like these pipes and tubes and vents.
I love his
but I was
hands.
running out of greeblies and had nothing right for this scale and level of detail.
Yeah.
So I downloaded Blender and learned how to make my own greeblies.
Oh!
I'm very much a
As one
learn-as-I-go
does.
kind of person, so I didn't think it was necessary to learn every single function and tool of Blender to get started.
Yeah.
I simply Googled the specifics I needed to make these pipes, then fumbled my way through it until I got this. And oh man, is that satisfying. By the way, you can find all the Blender files I made for this build on my Patreon. And full disclosure, some of these greeblies were also found on Thingiverse completely for free, and I provided links to those in the video description.
Neat.
I've used a lot of different materials for rivets, but for this build I went with this thick poster paper and my leather hole punch.
Yeah.
Next came the fins. The technique is pretty simple.
All right.
Print the
I
paper
could
to the
probably watch
dimension.
this shit all day. Let's watch a different style of video. Let's see what else people have linked. Long legs care guide. I think I've seen this series before. Never mind. It's creepy. All right, let's go.
Welcome to Information, Standard Care Procedures for Extraplanar Entities. Do you know what this entity is?
Piter?
It is called a longlegs. It is an extraplanar entity originating from an area located outside of standard reality known as the far plane.
All right.
It is from an area in the far plane called Brutalia. It is the only known type of entity that lives there. We will go over this longleg's physical characteristics. This specimen measures 61.4 centimeters tall and about 92.86 centimeters wide when standing. It weighs 9.5 kilograms. Longlegs are one of the few extraplanar entities
Oh
known
my
to have
God, they get
variations
big.
in size. They can be as small as a fist or several stories tall. This entity type has a round, off-white body with two circular markings that indicate the front of the body. It has 3 legs on each side that allow it to be highly mobile, including walking and climbing on walls.
Fella legs.
A longleg's body is smooth and featureless at first glance, but its intricate composition becomes clearer when put under a microscope. We will use this leg from a deconstructed specimen to see this entity's body composition. The surface composition is similar to chitin. With small, interlocking pieces, it allows the entity to be resistant to damage while still being able to move freely. This lets the long legs not require joints to walk. We will also take an X-ray of our specimen. The chitin-like material only makes up the surface of its body, and it has a softer interior. To prevent our specimen from deconstructing, we will not make any incisions. Long legs undergo a process called deconstruction, during which their limbs spontaneously detach from their body and render every part inanimate. This is a photo of the long legs whose leg was used in the demonstration of this video. Despite the potential morale decrease stemming from this photo, it should be noted that the entity was discovered in Brutalia in this state with no known human cause.
Okay, good,
Although deconstruction has not yet been observed, researchers have made a simulation of what Longleg's deconstruction could look like.
Budget?
That did not explode.
What happened?
What? That did not explode.
Next, we will go over this entity's containment procedures. To mimic the entity's natural environment, we will place it in an empty, windowless room with a single cinder block inside. We will test the entity's reaction to its new habitat. After more observation, we have added another cinder block. After more observation, we have added another cinder block. After additional observation, we have added another cinder block.
It's like it's trying to be creepy, but also shitpost.
Another cinder block. We cannot add any more, as it will strain the Zoolomenology project's budget.
How much is a cinder block? Like $250. Yeah, about $250 at Home Depot or Lowe's. $242. So like, let's call it $250. So 5, 10, 12.50.
After more observation, we have decided to add a cement sphere from Target that was obtained in a classified manner. The enclosure is now adequate for the entity. Longlegs do not require food or water to persist. To ensure its well-being, it is important to maintain its enclosure weekly. This includes cleaning and arranging cinder blocks to provide enrichment. However, it is strongly advised against moving the cement sphere, despite the potential morale increase, as it could cause harm to researchers and the entity. Additionally, do not the long legs.
Wait, what? Do not the long legs?
Do not the long researchers and the entity. Additionally, do not the long legs.
Do not the long legs.
Researchers are encouraged to donate cinder blocks to the long legs enclosure when possible. You now know the proper care procedures and adequate information for Longlegs. This concludes the Longlegs Information and Care Guide. Please report to your designated senior researcher after you have watched all other required material.
What a great fella.
I like you see him fall off the platform.
I'm sending this to my wife. She likes fellas like this.
Like left leg just disintegrates before he even touches the ground.
I don't know how that happened.
Oh, my feet are in that video. Triangle Agency. Never heard of it. Can we learn how to care for a Globo? Sure.
Welcome to Standard Care Procedures for Extraplanar Entities. Do you know what this entity is? It is called a Golbo.
Gobo.
It is an extraplanar entity originating from an area outside of standard reality known as the far plane. we will go over the Golbo's physical characteristics and care procedures.
Let me do
Golbo
it
measures
for you.
78.74 centimeters long and 66.04 tall at the shoulder. It possesses growth similar to legs on the underside of its body, along with a tail. It has one eye.
Oh, it's like a sunfish.
Today, we will make an incision into Golbo to view the makeup of its body.
No! That will hurt the Globo.
Sorry, Golbo. We will view this Golbo sample under a microscope.
Oh, don't do that. It's mean to the Globo.
It seems that Golbo possesses no blood vessels and, by extension, no blood. The skin-like material that makes up Golbo's appearance persists well into the inside.
So
To
it's
further
just
learn
that
about
all
this
the way
entity's
through?
body, we will place Golbo into an X-ray machine. In prior research, we learned that Golbo has about the same radioactivity as a banana. Golbo possesses no bones. We study Golbo's body composition to better understand how extraplanar entities move and function. Do not worry, Golbo is immune to radiation poisoning.
How do
We
you
will
know
now
that?
go over Golbo's containment procedures.
Okay.
Golbo requires a bathtub to exist properly. Golbo also requires a sufficient amount of biodiversity in the bathtub with it. Extraction of pseudofloran plant matter from the far plane has been unsuccessful, so reed grass and dandelions are good substitutes.
Okay.
Golbo must be placed with its eye pointing towards the faucet.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Do not wash the Golbo. Do not lift Golbo up for long periods with your hands. It has no bones, and so it will bend uncomfortably.
Oh.
Instead, bring a food-grade tray and carefully lift the Golbo onto it. Golbo is only to be handled for bathtub maintenance and study purposes. It requires no organic materials or water to perpetuate. Golbo is also unaffected by temperature, so local room heat can be kept to a temperature ideal for plant growth. There are no escape procedures for Golbo, but if Golbo is found outside of a designated Golbo area, return it to its enclosure.
Like, how far can it get without bones?
You now know the proper care procedures and information for Golbo. This concludes the Golbo Information and Care training video. Please report to your designated senior researcher after you have watched all other required material.
It's such a, like, pathetic little freak. I love him. Let's see. All right, let's, new stuff goes here. Vibri, then we got the Globo. What's this guy? TikTok, Betty and Barb. Make your day. Hold on. I don't hear shit. Music? Volume, go. Am I supposed to be able to hear this? What the fuck? It does that now if you... Alright.
Whole grain gum is quite
Oh
interesting.
my god, it's fucking low. Let's go. Oh my god. It's my choice. Yang Hong Shu.
Whole grain gum is quite interesting, and it can be drawn. Let me tell you a little secret. This sticky substance is known as durian milk, and it can be harvested from the durian.
Durian milk! Goal!
Without harming the cow itself. The stick is
I'm sorry, what about
the milk, and it can be harvested from the durian without harming the cow itself.
Of course.
The stick is sticky and sticks to the milk the sticky stick milky stick Xiao Hong Shu.
Sorry, hold on.
Whole grain gum is quite interesting, and it can be drawn. Let me tell you a little secret. This sticky substance is known as durian milk, and it can be harvested from the durian without harming the cow itself. The
Good.
stick is
I wouldn't want that cow to get hurt.
sticky and sticks to the milk, the sticky stick, milky stick. Yeah. Xiao Hong Shu.
I feel like he just got together. Like, they just figured out what the fuck he was going to be talking about. Yeah, it's an AI-generated thing, so it sucks ass. Little Red Book. Zhao Hong Shu is in Chinese Instagram. Do people milk durians for real? I mean, I guess. Why not? That is an Israeli children's cartoon called 5. That cannot be real. Someone was saying that the other day. Israeli children's cartoon. 5. What?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, we got it. It's a Dark Souls reference.
You know, I've been thinking, I should really share 5ish with you guys.
I'll review anything. He has 3,000 subs. Go sub him. If this is good.
It doesn't happen very much to me, but I was just so enthralled by it that I found that I've watched it about 5 times now. I've shown it to all my friends, and basically everyone has had this exact same reaction. So just sit back and relax while I share with you an Oorah production. 5ish gets ready for Shabbos. I think the way this worked and that this happened is that some group of Jewish individuals decided that they wanted to create their very own Jewish Barney type character. I can't be too certain, but that's my guess.
There's no way. Like, okay, can I? Can I just say, I think it's very bizarre that for a Jewish mascot, it's money. I've looked into this, Rev. Unfortunately, how is this?
The show opens with 5ish, who, yes, is an anthropomorphic $5 bill, chasing these Jewish children.
Like, I don't want to be like, this feels like, yeah, if I was gonna be like, let's say I wanted to be like a total Nazi, right? And I want to like fuck with Jewish people, I would absolutely do exactly, like, this is such a stereotype. Like, this feels like an offensive stereotype, and yet for some reason it was made. I don't understand. Oorah Auction is the name of the company that makes this, and they've made a bunch of other shit.
Okay, everybody, 5ish here, back again on Instagram. The other day, I'm driving on Cedar Bridge. This is we're talking midwinter here, okay? And there's this line. In the freezing cold, people are lining up all the way down the road, and I asked someone, I said, what is this line for? And she's like, I don't know, but there's a line forming, I gotta get in line. So finally, I work my way up. Apparently, the summer selection had just come out, and everybody's just lining up, because you gotta get that cool new stuff that nobody...
I figured it had to have been a Nazi thing, because why the fuck would Jewish people make, like, something that just seems like anti-Semitic joke at themselves. Like, I'm very confused. And so when you guys are like, oh no, this is legit, I'm like, is it though? And it fucking is?
Else has now, but everybody else will have it around 35 minutes. Okay, you don't want to miss out. I mean, you want to sell here, you form a line and people will just line up. I was in a store, this is a true story. There was a lady, she came running over to the counter, she said, I don't know what everybody's signing up for, but I do not want to miss out, so sign me up. FOMO is real, okay, and you can be helped if you sign up at the Euro auction, because then you won't have FOMO, because you're signing up and everybody else is. But FOMO is a real thing, and it can affect you and your loved ones, okay, so talk to your pediatrician and find out if the Euro auction is right for your FOMO. It's been nice chatting, I'll speak to you again soon.
What? He introduces the concept of FOMO twice and then in the fastest way possible explains what you're not... Why do you exist, man? What the fuck is this?
Do I look green enough? Wow, I should not be drinking so much coffee.
Jesus, fuck.
I'm 5-ish. No.
I'm 5-ish. No. I'm 5-ish. Oh, hi. I didn't...
People are still extremely anti-Semitic too, but I never heard the greedy Jewish people stereotypes. The anti-Semitic stereotype here is that Jewish people work for America and lie, not greed. Oh, I see. Right, because you're from Iraq. I was like, what are we talking about? Yeah, no, in America, there's like I did the Occupy stuff for a while, right? And I remember like every now and then we'd run into someone who was like weirdly anti-Semitic, because when I was like the 1%, that is the people who have like the top earners in this world, in this country, are, you know, because they're holding all this money, like it's fucking everything up for everyone. Like billionaires are bad for the world and we need to do something about that. And, you know, some people were like, by billionaires, you mean Jews, right? Jews are controlling it. And it's like, no, not actually. The greedy Jewish people thing is a different... Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad that you can be anti-Semitic in many different ways. Yeah, George Soros is usually the name that they throw out there as the like, oh my God, can you imagine that? He's behind everything. He's so Jewish, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, that's not happening. I wish it was as easy as that. The Rothschilds, yeah, that kind of shit. And you have to go, look, man, like it's not Jewish people. Like I remember like there was like a menorah set up because our occupation was outside of City Hall. And so they put up a menorah because it was around Christmas time, around Hanukkah time, I guess. And it was like a rabbi and like some kids from the synagogue or whatever. And I'm like, we're just sitting there and we see him trying to put that shit up. And I'm like, do y'all need help? And they're like, I mean, if you don't mind. And so we just help them put this like giant iron thing up. And it's like, cool. You know? This giant iron menorah. And I forgot what he said. He said like there's a specific term for non-Jewish people who help out Jewish people. And he said it, and then he explained it. And from what I got of it, I was like, oh, so like, this is a compliment. It's like, oh, okay. Well, thank you. I mean, like, what am I going to do? It's like the middle of the night, and like, I'm just sitting around waiting for something to happen, waiting for us to like do something. Sometimes with Occupy, it was just, we're going to sit here and do nothing. That's why I kind of like really, really loved that portion of my life, because it was just like, I don't know what I'm doing today, but I'm going to go do some good in this world, change the world a bit. So like sometimes we'd like, you know, set up like a you know, fucking homeless shelter for women. Sometimes we'd set up a menorah. It's just kind of like whatever the fuck was the vibe that we needed to take care of, like whatever needed to be done. So it was real easy to just like do good shit. It was just like show up and eventually something will happen that you'll have to do something, you know?
I didn't see you there. How long have you been standing there anyway?
Well, I'm so glad you're here. You'll be joining me on stage soon? Good. Let me just quickly tell you about the rules of the game. We'll show a few of the prizes from this year's URA auction.
2011.
Each contestant will have to bid the correct entry amount on the prizes. But shh, don't let them know that each entry is still only $5. Only at URA's auction.
10 seconds, Five-ish.
Okay, so what is the $5 thing? Like, I hate his legs too, but yeah, this is the same guy, isn't it? Like, I think that Angel said it was some sort of New Jersey deep local culture thing. Oh yeah, no, that's like a very often used. It's supposed to represent Sezdaka? What was it, like a $5? What is the $5 auction? $5 auction. So it's just like a... Okay. Maybe searching for... Yeah, that's probably what I need to search for, because I don't know what the fuck is going on. It seems really weird. Word for charity and justice. So first off, you could have made that square. Unlike that, it's an octagon. Good shit. Keep it up, y'all. You got like a religious thing? Could be a boring little square box. I like this little octagon. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Okay, so literally it's charity, but more... It also has like kind of a vibe of just like doing good stuff, like being good thing. Like technically it's a religious like box, but also it's just the concept of being giving and doing charity and shit, right? I would imagine you would. Like, I would imagine that most, like, Abrahamic religions are probably same kind of vibe. Like, yeah. Okay. Not properly charity like Christendom, but the way to empower poor people to support themselves, helping them develop their talents and skills. Oh, okay, so it's different than Christianity. So how are you doing it different? Okay. For enumerating 8 levels of giving, where the first level is the most preferable and the 8th the least. Okay, so this is, if you're gonna give charity, this is the Jewish proper order of doing things. Like, 1 being good, 8 being the worst of options. Okay, so first, giving an interest-free loan to a person in need, forming a partnership with the person in need, giving the person a grant to a person in need, finding a job for a person in need. Okay. Okay. So it's you give them a loan or you help them find a job or something. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. I would say that is the correct way of doing stuff, is you start at like, hey, like let's make it so that way you can do this yourself forever. Yeah, that does sound like it's teach a man to fish level stuff. Giving it anonymously to an unknown recipient via a person or a public fund that's trustworthy, that can perform acts of that with your money. Okay, so like giving it to a public fund is cool because then you don't have the like I'm doing this for myself thing. Okay. Giving to charity has all sorts of rules. Yeah. Yeah, buy a man, eat fish, he day, teach fish man to lifetime. Yeah, exactly. So the shittiest way of giving money, according to Judaism, is giving out of pity. Right, okay, so you're just like... I think this is a really interesting concept, man. I mean, it sounds way better than the way Christianity does it, where it, and this is something that like I need to be aware of in my everyday life, but like in order to receive charity as a Christian, you have to deserve it. You have to earn charity. You know what I mean? Like you can't just like you're homeless? Well, you got to do something for it. You can't just like get free money to get free money. Yeah, you got to listen to a sermon, or you got to like go like I'll give you a job or something. But you're not allowed to like just give them money. And I think that this is also kind of in the same vein where it's like you start with helping them as they need help, not just giving them money to give them money. And then later on, it becomes more things. This one is just like, oh man, kind of sucks that you're in a bad spot. Here's like a $5, you know? I do think that that is an Americanization of Christianity. And I think that people don't realize how like much that's gotten into their brain. Random shit like does a character deserve to have a good ending? Like that's a very Christian mindset to even say that, right? That like in a story a bad person should fail, you know? The so-called Protestant work ethic is a blight. Agreed. Yeah. Kylo Ren does not deserve a redemption arc because he has sinned. He has gone against the original sin. He will never be. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he did genocide a planet. I'm just saying, like, you know, Jesus would redeem you regardless, you know? So like why do you have to meet certain standards for Christians? It's not a sin he genocided so many people. Well, that's between him and God, I guess. Assuming Jesus exists in Star Wars. It was a long time ago. It depends on how long a long time ago is. A long time when you're trying to order food, like a couple hours to get your food to actually come out, that's like a long time. Maybe God doesn't know where Star Wars is. God knows everything. Yeah, no, I'm not Christian, so don't fret about that shit. We're not going down that road. But I do like this. This is actually like very cool. I like that it's like this is like very straightforward instructions on how to live your life. It's very regimented. It's very specific though. And I like it because it's just like you can agree or not agree with this, which is nice. It's also interesting that it says interest-free loan. Usury is a sin in the Bible, at least in the Old Testament, which I believe is like cut from the same cloth as the Torah. It's not the same thing, but yeah, like usury is a sin. You go to hell if you do usury. That is interest loans, like charging interest on a loan, which is funny, but also different. Okay, well, I guess we learned and so my guess is that this incredibly bizarre decision to have 5-ish yeah, he's changed from being whatever the fuck this is supposed to be, right? I'm kind of iffy about pity being the worst way to give money, but A, the Wikipedia version seems oversimplified on that front, and B, I may have a different understanding of pity. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like, you're not giving to them to try and improve their situation. You just kind of like, you personally are feeling bad about it. It's not about like trying to improve their situation. It's about making you feel less bad about yours, I think is what it's saying there, which I kind of get. Like, that's not the right energy to be giving someone money. You do it not for the incentive of not feeling bad about yourself anymore, but you do it because it's the right thing to do. See, that I get, but you can also see pity as sympathy sometimes. It depends on what the energy walking into it is. Very interesting ethical breakdown of that. I learned a little bit about Judaism because of this bootleg ass video. Let's see what else there is. Scout gets attacked by a wild yet curious being. Source filmmaker. Please don't be porn. Please don't be porn. Please don't be porn.
What in God's name are you doing? Back off, you crazy bitch!
Please give me huggy wuggies. Ooh, woo.
What the fuck are you saying?
Pounces on you.
How could this happen to me? Made my mistakes. Got nowhere to go.
Var, X3. What's this? Oh, whoa. Notices your bulge. Let's have a little look-see here.
I wish I stayed home and played the new Call of Duty. This is so not cash money!
What? What is that audio from? Like, it's a lot of, like, you know... This is another one submitted by the same person. Let's decide if they deserve death. POV, you're a Pikmin. Frame rate's a little weird. It's probably because they actually had to 3D animate all of this shit. Frame rate lore accurate to the Switch. It's almost slow enough for it to look like whatchamacallit. Oh god. It kind of looks stop motion the way they've done it. Oh, God. What the fuck? Again? What the fuck is that? Huh. That was weird, man. You guys in for trick-or-treating? And it's a Star Fox animation. Over/under on this being cringe.
Hey, Star Fox. I just wanted to reach out and request a ceasefire for... Are you guys going trick-or-treating?
Suck my fucking ass, you goddamn stuttering fucking parrot!
Are you...
Fuck off!
Are you guys going trick-or-treating?
What show is this from?
Are you guys going trick-or-treating?
Are you going sucking?
Are you good?
Are you going sucking?
That's the animator? Oh, that's the animator's voice. Okay, got it. Bobby Fingers related content, 75 miles per hour. Looks kind of rotoscoped. It looked like it was from some. It was like, it's weird. Fox in Space is a fan project. Okay.
Whoa! Oh my God. I lost the bird.
Hello there, I'm Gav. Welcome to the Slow-Mo Guys. You may be thinking to yourself, why is a ballistic gel goose covered in animal birthing lube being fired out of a 20-foot air cannon? And who's this majestic-looking bloke about to take the goose to the grid? Well, that's an excellent question. A while ago, my friend Gus told me about a YouTube channel called Bobby Fingers.
Did you see that YouTube video of the guy sculpting Mel Gibson's DUI arrest?
He makes these insanely detailed,
I mean, he's great. He really is the standard that YouTubers should be at. I feel like I am nowhere close to this guy's skill.
Steven Seagal getting slammed into the ground, and Michael Jackson catching on fire. After realizing I was subscribed to the channel, Bobby Fingers sent me a cheeky email. He said for his next video he'd love some slow-mo shots of a ballistic gel goose hitting a silicon head, and immediately I knew we were doing some Fabio. So we arranged to meet up in our usual quarry in Texas. I brought the high-speed cameras, Bobby brought the Fabio heads and geese, and all-time hero of mine, Adam Savage from Mythbusters, assembled a 20-foot air cannon with an absolute honkin' pressure tank.
I love this. That's so fucking cool that he showed up. He's got his own channel on YouTube now, and it's pretty cool. Like, it's just him, like, answering questions on how to do machining or how to... any of that crafty kind of crap that we've been doing. Like, cosplays or building props for movies. He does all that kind of stuff. It's so cool.
Big 20-footer.
Highly recommend his channel.
26-foot van.
Good, like, I just need to relax kind of
The
stuff.
TMX 7510, and we'll get some nice 4K shots at 1,000 on that one. And go up to 80. 2,000 on this one. Not sure we'll need it. It's not a supersonic goose.
When I'm ready to fire it, I'll bring this over and connect it. The moment that's connected, no one goes past. Actually, everyone should be back behind here once that's connected, effectively.
Yeah.
This first set of tests is going to be really straightforward. I'm going to put a little lube in the end of this. I'm just going to fire it to fill the end with lube. Fill the tube.
Oh, just dry fire it, sure.
Disconnect it, grease this bird, dip it in the lube here, pop it in, and we'll power it up to like 60 psi and just see how far the bird goes, and hopefully the high-speed camera will give us some idea of its speed. After a shot, before anyone proceeds to go see what happened, wait for me to say all clear.
I like that he's doing this as well. This is something that he talks about a lot in videos and stuff, but he's just like, these are the rules for us doing this safely. What do you call this genre of this? Men doing men stuff? Boys will be boys, I guess. Yeah, sure, whatever. I like weird creative nerd shit. Like, why would they do this?
That's just making sure I'm not putting anyone in the end of a barrel where there's still pressure in here.
He's doing my job.
We'll thicken this up. It's a you're supposed to powder it on your hands before you're pulling a cow out of another cow.
And it uses the cow juice to
no, you put the powder on your hands and then you wet them and it greases them up. So you can add this to the bucket and we get lube for the bird.
Have you ever got any into your peritoneal cavity?
Does it say not to?
It says not to.
It is sold specifically.
But you can get it into other cavities just fine.
This is bargain lube.
Bargain bin powdered lube.
What kind of ratio do you go for?
I have no idea. I think we dumped most of this bottle and we get our lube. Yeah, it's
Bovi
like
Vet Gel makes great lube, by the way, and it's cheap.
It looks thick.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wouldn't put this in my body. Thank you for the 26 months of support, Doomsday Dingo. Hold up, bed. Powders my cock.
Lube shot in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, I was expecting some stringy bits to come out at the end.
I don't think the bird's gonna make it to the end of the barrel. Sounds good.
Yeah, that was not a lot of
I have no idea
power.
if this is gonna work. Oh, look, we get a reverb.
Now that the barrel was lubed, we wanted to fire this test goose.
Sergey, thank you for the 57 months of support.
It would come out.
Wood don't.
Got it.
You got it.
Yeah, dude, if there's a huge storm going on, watch this VOD later on YouTube or something. I'm not going a whole lot longer.
Are you saying you didn't want to go up to a higher PSI?
Take care of yourself.
No, I am going to a higher PSI.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
If in doubt.
It's mostly about how much volume here we can move through there. And it's possible we can get the bird up to speed. Again, won't know anything until we fire this one. In 3, 2, 1.
That was actually pretty good. Yeah.
Exceeded every expectation.
She worked.
That was great.
She bounced through.
Woo! I had no idea. That was great. I'm so happy. And the other ones are going to go faster because that bird was heavy.
Yeah, they're lighter.
Let's find out from these geniuses how fast that went.
This is such a sight. It looks like a Concorde coming out. It's so aerodynamic. So good. Look at it. It doesn't budge an inch. It's just completely still.
We talked about this in San Francisco. I said I didn't think the head would fly back when it left the barrel.
It was going to bend around.
All right, so you need a measurement of the bird, yeah?
Ideally,
yeah.
I need the software to do a proper measurement, but I guess we can just figure out the framing, right?
Let me grab a tape measure.
Do you want to measure from the barrel to the end of the frame and we can figure out that distance? Okay. That doesn't sound right.
Oh, right.
Bunch of guys being dudes laughing at a greased up fucking goose yeeting itself out of a pressure tube, and then everyone's like, all right, now we got to do math.
74 miles an hour, is that right?
I didn't realize slow-mo guys were involved with Rooster Teeth. If that's the case, yeah, probably they did. Let's see if they've had anything recent. I mean, this was 3 months ago. 9 months ago, 1 month ago, 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago is the most recent one they've done. Yeah, Rooster Teeth going was... That's wild, man.
Let me check my... 62 inches in
47 milliseconds. That feels exactly right.
So did you just literally nail it? Yeah, I've got the same, 75 miles an hour.
Yeah, I literally nailed it on the first try. 75.
What a professional.
Come up, yeah.
Yeah. Come over this way, doesn't
Is it hard to aim something so long?
it? I have tons of experience with that. Yeah, I got it.
What's that?
I just like these moments where I'm like kind of go, how the f did I get here? So yeah, in a quarry with you clowns shooting beads out of a cannon, you just kind of stop and assess and go, did I get here?
I will tell you, and I'm sure you guys have had this many times, but Jamie and I we called it the Mythbusters moment for us because we'd be sitting at the top of a greased slide after weeks of work going, who, what, how?
No one asked us to do
No.
this. No one. Never asked us.
And by the way, we are at pressure. The barrel isn't hooked up, but I'm ready to load the crap.
Could you make the video bigger? Sorry,
We're talking about ourselves and start shooting some beads.
The British guy was part of Achievement Hunters. This guy?
One of my favorite
I'm vaguely aware of them because they were local to Austin.
Right in the middle of such a surreal moment.
I was going to get a
Having watched
job with them,
every
actually,
episode of
working
Mythbusters
with
in my
them,
youth,
but...
I've seen Adam interact with Phantoms multiple times. But there was that realization for me right here, where I was watching Adam load up the pipe with the goose, as if I am watching an episode of Mythbusters.
Gavin, are you guys ready for a potential?
And then he turns to me to check if the Phantoms are ready. I just found that moment so fulfilling.
That's cool. Dude, I would fucking go bananas if I had any reason to actually, like, hang out with Adam Savage. I think that would be great to just, like, pick his brain about shit. Yeah, I looked into getting a job at Rooster Teeth and it just didn't work out. You know. Streaming and YouTube and art don't make a shit ton of money. So if I can get a job, that's cool. But didn't work.
It's just best if they're unconscious.
I mean, I also tried to get a
Next up,
job
to
at
test the
Blizzard
aim
and
of
that
the
didn't
cannon,
work.
we'll be firing the ugliest bird at the ugliest Fabio head.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. Whoa! Oh my God! I lost the bird. I lost the bird.
Has he gone far?
It did.
Oh no!
Is that going to be a problem?
It was a real struggle when the loop went on.
Are you glad you dodged the Blizzard bullet?
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I've got it.
Good. I mean, at least the
Burning
loop's
Fabio
working.
On 3, 2, 1.
Aw, that's kind of weak.
Awesome.
The unfortunate thing with these faster cameras is that we're searching through like 400,000 frames.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess that would be an issue.
50,000 frames a second.
50?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I can speed up a little.
Slide over.
Oh God. Look at the
Right
scratch.
into the mouth.
Oh my God! It's like literally going in his mouth.
Oh yes.
It's like pushing his nose out.
The fucking loop going everywhere.
Fucking arrow.
Whoa! It's like you got hit by an otter. You hit by an eel. Yeah.
Stop making that noise specifically. It's pretty bad. Like,
Ballistic still is made for smacking.
Yeah, it looks like this one will fly pretty proud.
Oh yeah, you will get him.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
That one's perfect.
She might take a little force to get in, but don't let go of the tail.
Absolutely not the first time.
Didn't Fabio get hit by a real bird in real life? Yes. So what Bobby Fingers does is he does famous moments from history, weird fucking shit that happened to celebrities as dioramas. And man, that makes it sound like that's the only thing he does, but that is not what the fucking video is. I would highly recommend his stuff because he is like real shit. His Jeff Bezos boat thing.
Absolutely.
Why? Where do you get a bag-shaped goose? I think you make one.
Get in your greasy.
There she goes.
I have her.
I love that they were.
Right. Here we go. Beautiful bird into beautiful Fabio. 3, 2,
Bobby fingers.
1. That's a good blow.
The sound.
Was it though?
We're gonna have some good eyeball action there.
Good grief. Range is clear.
Adam Savage, you're gonna want to see this.
It's the hopeful look on his face. Very Disney Prince.
Clearly enjoying himself on his.
Kind of hits his left cheek on this one.
Just imagine his hands.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Oh my God, the bird is perfect.
Now he's seeing the goose.
Force equals mass times acceleration.
There it is. It's made
It's almost like he
contact.
closed his eyes for a second.
The bird is just going into into itself.
Cronenberg.
Speed up.
Oh my God. That is the most perfect glancing blow.
One eye is.
Oh my God! All of the
completely
lube
changes
getting
the
in his
face.
hair and shit.
Amazing.
That
You got
face.
You got the tail and the neck.
Oh, that's great.
Nice bit of movement on the rack too.
Is it gonna go back to normal?
Recall that time. Yeah, that's good.
Oh, it's still. Man, it got pressed in there really good.
Most qualified person in the world at doing specifically this.
Succession of ridiculous skills I'm pretty good at.
You're the best
Most
person.
qualified before we ever started doing any of this as well.
What do you think you're the best at?
Oh, I think I'm just all right at loads of
You're
stuff.
good at getting in giant
Fair.
balloons
I'm pretty well practiced at it these days.
without lube.
I should just get some of this animal lube.
Yeah, I know.
Why didn't we think of that?
Never thought of that. And
Get in your pup.
In 3, 2, 1.
Blew his hair off.
Oh,
So it is getting up to 70 miles an hour, but it really feels slow.
Oh, it did. No, it did.
You know what I
No, it
mean?
didn't.
Goose that makes you bald. I like that it's like somewhat worn the paint off of that cheek.
And 3, 2, 1. Oh, his eye popped out. Yeah. What'd you find there, Dan?
Just found the eye, you know. Popped out quite far.
Oh my God.
the tension.
It was really funny watching the Jeff Bezos video with my wife. When he was putting the hairs in, she's very squeamish about violence and stuff. So when he was sticking the hairs into the like fake skin, it looked like real skin, so she would. It was really cute. Oof.
Oh,
that is brutal, dude.
Run it back. Very good.
Oh. You.
Jesus, fuck.
I'm starting to think Fabio's telling the truth.
The white silicon test goose is heavier than the ballistics gel geese, so we were curious if it would do even more damage to the Fabio head.
What?
Who's the first to find the eyeballs?
Me.
Found both of them?
One.
Well, it's not like they look like every other thing on the ground.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's something wrong with that man.
Yes.
It's deeply damaged him.
It's like gone into his nose. That's booking it. Oh
my god! It didn't knock the eye out like it previously. It was like into the head. Jesus fuck. This is also Bobby can determine whether or not Fabio is hit by the goose directly or a piece of camera that the goose hit.
That one's really gruesome.
Geese aren't that... I mean, how heavy is a geese? How big are geese? 75 pounds. What the fuck? That's a child. That is an... Imagine a fucking child getting yeeted into your face.
I think that's going way faster than the other one.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if the camera was like the meme or not.
Mechanical coupling between the bird and the face.
That is gonna smart in the morning.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, God.
Adam then wanted to see which goose would go the furthest distance, the silicone or the ballistics gel.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Nice and clean. Look at that.
I'm really curious about which one went farther.
Oh, did you load them both? Huh. Yeah, imagine someone just like picking a toddler up by the ankles and just...
No.
The ground super like soft? Or swampy?
I gotta rinse my shoes. Ballistics gel bird went 100 feet. This one went 150 feet. So silicone wins. God damn it. The hard part about the slurry is that it's a quarry, which means it's not dirt, it's clay. It's under dirt. And it's tenacious as hell. It sticks to everything. If you were walking around here in the rain, it gathers up on the bottoms of your boots until you're like 4 or 5 inches higher. I'm not kidding.
That's wild.
That would stay on. I have to chip this off with a screwdriver unless I get it off right now.
Yeah. That's some serious mud.
I can move about the cabin now. Last shot of the day, the martini. You happy, Bobby? Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
All in all, this was one of my favorite days ever. Feel free to subscribe.
Fucking god damn it with the dildo, dude!
The channel if you want to see more slow-mo, and make sure you check out the videos on Adam Savage's Tested channel, and of course the full...
Yeah, check out his channel. It's really good. Tested. Lots of little video. There's one about yeah, I mean, he just does such a good job with like, yeah, one-day builds.
Hey guys, it's Adam from Tested, and we heard you here at Tested. We know you love the one-day builds, and so do we. And here comes one right now. But we also promise that more one-day builds will be coming more frequently starting now. And today's...
We're just gonna skip to the big things. We had these at GameStop, and they're pretty good. They were expensive. We had some that were like, we had to like, we had an employee discount, and so like, some of my coworkers bought, like they took turns buying them because you couldn't buy it for yourself, and then instead of working, they just were running around shooting each other. It was great. I wasn't there for it.
I'm just bypassing one.
Fucking magazine well, Jesus, man. All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and I'll be right back. Give me half a sec. 1 minute. right, I am back. Is Rev just showing us random stuff he found, or are we showing him stuff? It's kind of both. You know, we're doing a little bit of both. I'm mostly going off of what y'all are showing me, but I'm showing other stuff too. All right. Let's watch one more video. Chinese war sword on cold steel. Wasn't cold steel like a show? Would you watch a Miku concert? There's a limited time one on the official Miku channel. I'd imagine I get copyright claimed. Oh shit. Shut the fuck up.
Sorry. The manatee was about to die of thirsty. Fortunately, the local tourists saw, so they poured water. When the manatee heard the sound of water, please note, he immediately turned his head and opened his mouth eagerly to catch the please note that from the manatee's point of view, the water they poured is drinkable water, able to drink in the mouth for, that's thirsty. Please note that the manatee then proceeded to drink the water, but it was from a bottle that the tourism poured down his manatee throat. After after drinking a whole bottle of water, the manatee was
throat.
Still not satisfied. Reports state that the manatee said that it had a headache, but the zookeeper said, quote, "These hoes don't want a solution. They just want someone to talk to."
He keeps slipping to Chinese. I can't tell how many of these are like real ones and how many of these like did someone like figure out how to do it and started memeing about as well. I love these. These are fucking insane. I love him. I love him so much. He's such a weird freak.
Which led to the dehydration of the manatee itself, leading to the pouring of water on the manatee in order to quench its thirst, which has come about through the water bottle, no cap. Xiao Hong Shu.
What? No cap. No cap, fam. No cap. All right, well, that was short. We're going to watch another one. Zong Hong Shu! Throat. Oh, right. I can't watch these TikTok ones because they won't load. Let's see. I built an entire clock mechanism to prove this is possible. All right, well. You sound like you've got the same life energy that I do, where you just do shit because people are like, nah, and you're like, bet?
Hi, can human beings function as gears?
I mean, yes? Where are people submitting these videos? It's on the sub-Discord.
So I'm not actually going to make myself a gear, but rather a pigeon-looking gear. And when I say pigeon-looking gear, I mean the teeth are going to look like pigeons. Pigeon is my soul animal, so that seems fitting. Unlike the involute gears that are perfection, my pigeon gears would not just mesh magically together. So we actually need to deduce, I don't know if I use this word correctly, but we need to figure out what would be the magical shape that will mesh with our pigeon gears.
Yeah.
So if you...
This has been something that has always fucked with my brain trying to figure out how to do this. Like being able to figure out a design that looks good on one side and then like what the inverse to be able to do it perfectly, or to be able to get these... Yeah.
Connect two templates in a 3-to-1 reduction and draw.
Did chat send my subscription list to Rev?
Pigeons leave behind. We should theoretically
thanks, you're sub too. That's funny.
Gear to our pigeon gear. So that's
Yeah?
Unfortunately, it wasn't so accurate drawing it by hand, so let's just do that again on the computer.
Yeah.
And as you can see, it's far easier and accurate, and I can get the negative space that the pigeons leave behind. I'm just rechecking that the part actually mesh properly with the pigeon gear. And it looks pretty good, so let's go ahead and
I mean, it looks legit to me.
Make some templates out of it. So my cats ate my homework. Perhaps you're wondering why am I cutting just the one pigeon?
I'm sorry, no. Just because of that, I'm sending it to my wife. That's real. That's some real shit. Cats love to do that. How do you spell manatee? Like manatee. Yeah, literally just manatee. Like the word mana, like as in magic shit, and tea as in like t-shirt. Manatee.
Case and not the entire gear. Fact of the matter is, this is only a template to guide my pantograph machine. With this template, I'm able to cut very accurate. Well, okay, that depends on the skill of the user, which is me in that case, but we're able to cut endless pigeon-looking teeth.
That seems like it would be so, like, machining something.
So the template is set on the pantograph. Now we can get the stock ready, and we should get gear cutting in no time.
I have no idea what you're doing, but I know he's doing it right. Do you know what I mean? I love this. I love people doing machining. Or blacksmithing. Those are good too. Fucking love me a blacksmithing video. How it's made? Is how it's made Hugbees? Or is that the real one that he's riffing on? That's the actually how it's made. Okay. Hugbees parodies it. Yeah, no. One of Hugbees things came up on TikTok as a recommendation for Tilda the other day, and I literally told her to turn it off. Have you watched Michael Cthulhu? He makes giant swords. Giant swords are cool too. I do love some giant short swords and shit. I love that he's got these inner bits for the gear. I don't know if he needs those. Is Hugbees bad now? I've had interactions with him that I don't want to interact with him again. But that's just because I'm a content creator.
I broke it.
I don't think he's evil or anything.
I broke it. In the very last second, I tried to clean up the spokes with the pantograph. I don't know why.
Great animation. Oh. All right.
I just went ahead and made a new one. It's slightly thinner. So we have that. Now we can do the parenting. Now we can do the partner gear.
I love that YouTube makes it so that way some guy can do this as his thing.
So we have the two gears, and they look pretty nice. You might have noticed that I've drilled holes, which will accept this arbor thingamajig. What do we need to do now?
Did someone doubt him that he could do this?
A depthing tool, kind of quickly. It's not the woo. It's not the best, the most, you know. Snip, snap. Actually, pretty smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, very good. Proof of concept confirmed. I made a depthing tools. Definitely, I have some intentions. Now, I would like to make a full-on clock, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do something close. I think.
Also,
but
this man looks like a clockmaker, and I love that for him. That's very important.
It's not gonna tell the time so well. Let's make a clock-ish mechanism, right? Right. Yeah, let's go. So now
Like
that we
his
have the pigeon
shirt,
gear and
his
partner gear
beard,
on their own, they're
the
kind
fit
of
is
boring,
that is a
just
guy who
turning
makes
and
clocks.
So let's make it a bit more interesting. Hey, hold on, partner, not that quickly. First, we need to mount everything on a plate. Then we give it some energy with a weight and barrel of some sort. At this point, the weight will just drop to the floor. So let's add some escapement and a pendulum. And we have a clock-ish type mechanism that doesn't tell any time. So yeah, Bob's your uncle. Oh, and let's not forget the hand of the clock, which obviously is going to be a leg. I'm gonna start making the escapement mechanism first. I already cut the
didn't know how
escapement
clocks
wheel in a
worked.
similar
That's
fashion
really
to the pigeon
cool.
gears, which might not have been the best idea. I'll get to that later. So let's move on to the escapement fork. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Tuna Dude, how you doing? Thank you for the 11 months of support. Yeah, you had to reset the weight. Like, we had a grandfather clock for a while.
So I've been playing around with this quite a while, and as you can see, it looks kind of okay. Until I've realized that I put the whole thing backwards. And I shaved quite a lot already, but now it's not adjusted. But now it's makes more sense.
But yeah, no, we had a grandfather clock that you had to do this to. You had to like reset the weights. It was like something in my grandmother's, I think. And then my parents also have like this hunter's cuckoo clock that used to be in my room, and they ended up getting fixed after I moved out. And it's never set to the right time. Like it
Okay,
runs
that looks pretty good. I'm gonna
at the
call
wrong
it. Look,
speed,
I'm not
but
a
it's cool
watchmaker,
looking.
Sue me. I think that's good.
Just the level of precision you'd have to make a clock work is wild to me. And the fact that he's just like, what if I made it pigeons? It's like, yeah, what if you made it pigeons? Oh, I should probably zoom in as well. I wonder what that purple stuff is. It's got to be something to do with how the lathe works, but Is it for marking it, or is it like a grease thing, you think? It's just for markings? Got it. Wow. I think we spent the better part of today just watching people make things. It's interesting to see what you guys like aside from me.
How do you like that? Them pencils. Tuchman Airlines service. My hands are really dirty.
I love watching people make things. I love really talented people who are very good at this, you know? Like,
so, you might have noticed that the pendulum cannot swing.
Yeah.
That's because there's a column in the way and the pendulum is too long. But I have a solution. To be honest with you, and I will be perfectly honest, I did know it was going to be a problem. Usually they have 3 legs, so the pendulum can swing in between the legs. Anyway.
Why didn't you do that?
But yeah, I have an idea that I thought would be cool to do. So yeah, let's try and do that. What do I do with this? Okay.
I think it's like, there's something about like having the skill set to make a shit post that's like so incredibly powerful.
Good. We can bend this here. Oh my god. Well, maybe I don't need the pendulum itself, actually. This might be easier.
What the fuck are you doing?
Okay. I think we have it.
Engineering.
Oh, whoa, yes! Me, just check out my green sock. Do you remember that I made the escapement fork backwards? Well, I've decided, even though it kind of worked, that it didn't run very smoothly, so I decided to go with a more slanted, more curvy, different type of escapement fork, so that works much better. So yeah, as you can see, this runs smoother. Without the weight, it doesn't give a really good sense of how it's going to operate.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't really get how this is supposed to work.
It's much easier.
I mean, I'm learning a lot about clocks through this. Like, I didn't really get how the gears were supposed to come together, and so seeing like the weights being added, I think that's like the bit that I don't get. Is like I don't get how the weights pull the gear into the clacky thingy, whatever the fuck he was calling that. I guess. Does anyone know how clocks work?
So initially, I didn't intend to make a face for this clock, quote unquote. Well, I also didn't plan to make an entire clock mechanism, so here we are making a clock face. I have no idea how I should go about it, and this is one of those things where I do something quick, and then I hate it, and then I do it again, and then I kind of like it better. But yeah, I'm gonna
that's cool.
This out.
That's a very cool tool.
That looks pretty nice. Looks a little like a child druid.
Oh yeah.
Well,
metal filings is like splinters. That sounds rough. I like that. That was a good little animation. And then he's ionizing or anoizing, or however you pronounce that.
I don't like this at all. It looks... What do I do? I've decided to make the dial again from a much more forgiving piece of brass. The round stock is a different material than the sheet metal, and therefore
plus
the engraving
brass dust turns your hands green. Interesting. I mean, yeah, it would, wouldn't it? I love this tool.
Don't look too bad.
That tool is very cool.
Somehow very... Oh, I know why the 9 is so low. No, it's it fits. I guess it fits the upside down pigeon. I'm pretty sure I've used an upside down 6, and that's why it's so freaking low. Yes, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I feel it, man. I feel it.
See if that's gonna work.
You basically made a little homunculus of an egg? What the fuck are you talking about? Because it sounds interesting.
It's alright, it looks nice.
Yeah, the 6 is in a weird position too for the same reason.
So finally I'm gonna make the hand of the clock, which
I
like
don't know how
said
you do
before,
this
is
without
going to be a
AutoCAD.
leg, and I'm gonna try to
Or
glue
like
it,
heavy
which is the
machinery.
traditional thing for hands, I suppose, when it comes to clocks. I am using stainless steel, so I'm not sure how well this is going to work. Okay, that clearly didn't work as intended. As you can see, it's not blue at all. So
No.
let's try this again from just mild steel. I don't know why I tried stainless to begin with, but yeah, let's give it a go.
There you go. Oop,
okay, that
shit.
turned out much nicer. It's pretty difficult to shoot on video as it's very reflective. I don't know how ClickSpring does it, but it's blue. It's blue, so and a little purple.
This like boggles the mind on how someone can... Who's the first person to make a clock, man? That's so wild. Like... the precision of this thing. Tradespeople are great. No, I'm not talking about hourglasses, though that's cool.
Okay, I think we're ready to go, and honestly, I haven't tried it yet, so... It's not very accurate, but like... Anyway. Yes, baby!
Hey, maybe next time you want to do something like this, just like replace the gear on this. There was no like inventor of the clock. It was like... I like that detail. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be counting.
That is... 44 seconds. And it stopped. Why did you stop? Why did you stop? Oh, yes, the weight. Weight reached the bottom. Okay.
You should get into clock. Oh my god, there's no one gives a shit about that. Like...
Thank you very much for watching. I love you guys. See you in the next... I don't know what to do with my hands. Thanks in the next video. See you in the next video. Thank you for the Patreons for paying for this. Don't forget to...
I like when Rev starts a thought and gets distracted immediately. I don't even remember what I was fucking talking about. I don't have any place to put a... Why is he hooked up to the ceiling, GLaDOS? You think that, like, tradespeople like this are normal? He's got to have, like, a constant supply of clock knowledge. That's the clock drip. I mean, yeah, money is a huge problem with me not making a clock. Also, I don't actually have I don't have any money for this shit. Or space for it. And time. I don't have time either. I've got to make sure I actually, you know, do stuff like put away laundry, which I should do, and make art, which I should do, and make games and stream. Let's see. I'm gonna see if there's anything new trending, or not new trending. Rev fart. Haktua is trending again. Latest stream art, nothing new. Let me check on the Boru. And game Rev fart. Nothing new on the board or the Discord either. I will see you guys when I see you. How do you know how much time if you don't make clocks? You don't have time, you should make time. Pep Sours? Fuck you. Fuck you. Yeah, let's raid someone. Who do we have to raid? Who's live right now? Yep. See, right now, live is Luigi Guy, Limes, Simple Flips, Croway, Desert P, let's see. Yeah, I think we're gonna raid let's raid Luigi Guy. You know? Let's do that. I think that's how we end today. Is we just copy his stream name, and he is streaming what game is this? Let's see. Xenoblade. So looks like he's far enough into that game that it might be an issue, so if you don't want spoilers for that. Alfie is cool. I don't think Alfie is live, right? I'm gonna raid Luigi Guy. She is? Oh, okay. I need to go follow her. All right. He's midway through, but the game's old. Okay. Fair enough. I should probably put raid in. There we go. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys Tuesday, probably? He might be doing a Sunday, Mondays are my days off, and then Tuesday onward is when I work. So I will see you Tuesday.